Game console boot screens have come a long way since when they started. But when CDs came along, things had to change dramatically. There had to be a menu system so you could swap discs or perhaps play audio CDs. Now, in the days of the Mega CD, this was a cheerful and happy experience. The music was bursting with joy. But this seemed to change with the dawn of the PlayStation. The intro you were greeted with just instilled you with a sense of dread and unease. Now, this wasn't a bad sense of dread, but it definitely left a sense of mystery about what was about to happen. And this didn't get better, in fact, it got worse. And for me, it culminated with the Xbox's dashboard. And I'm here to tell you why. The original Xbox, released in 2001, was a hench hunk of a machine. It was vast and heavy compared to almost every other console we'd seen, but it was also somewhat menacing. A huge, shadowy slab, unearthed in some archaeological dig, just waiting to unleash powers beyond our comprehension. That's not actually that far from the truth. Compared to its peers, the graphics and sound of the Xbox were staggering, making it incredibly easy to get sucked into whatever game world it threw at you. But sometimes, when that was all too much, it would be quite relaxing to just boot up the Xbox without a game and bathe in the alien green of the original dashboard. That eerie, unsettling ambience provided a comforting sense of dread. It was like a parallel alien world calling to you through time and space. But for those who left their Xbox on and woke up at 3 AM in the morning to terrifying unidentified sounds, it was a different experience altogether. You see, the Xbox holds a secret. In fact, it holds many secrets, and these secrets were enough to frighten the wits out of both adults and children alike. What were those sounds? Of course it helps if you've just woken up, perhaps in a drunken stupor, and all you have is the glow of your Xbox along with these strange, confusing noises. Along with the swirling water-like ambience were seemingly sounds of squealing midnight trains, distant sea creatures, creaking doors and strange alien voices, all generated by the Xbox as it sat glowing in the corner, watching and judging you whilst you slept. It was a few years ago that Microsoft's Larry Herb, you know, that Major Nelson chap, revealed that these sounds were actually modified Apollo mission transmissions, which would randomly mesh themselves into the Xbox ambient sound to create something strange and alien-esque. It's really like the backing track to a horror movie. If you listen to the original recordings, they're not much better, to be honest. Well, not to me, anyway. I always get a feeling of eerie disconnect listening to transmissions like this. These were people almost completely isolated from the rest of humanity, and even though it turned out well, I find it really quite haunting. And I think that's exactly what Microsoft were trying to tune into. These public domain sounds can all be found on the hard drive of original units, although clearly some aren't directly from the Apollo missions. Instead, they're adaptations. I mean, clearly this is straight out of some sort of speech synthesis. It sounds like Atari ST speech synthesis. I mean, if that isn't produced by a Yamaha AY sound chip, then I'll eat my hat, or whatever is on my head. If you listen very closely, you can hear the words of the Apollo transmissions, which have been transcribed into this speech synthesis. That sounds like "Do you read?" There's a 7 in there. You can clearly make out some words. Obviously, the intention here was to make the Xbox seem like alien technology, especially tied with the extensive green colour scheme. And for me, it really worked. I've heard rumours that the sounds were worse or scarier with surround sound on, like it created a proper haunted house type of show, whilst others claim that headphones were the most terrifying for receiving those foreign sounds. So I thought I'd just sit here for a while with the screen and run my own test just to see what came from the Xbox. Maybe there's a sound there tucked away we didn't know about.
Is it next?
Finishing on a jump scare. That's a bit cliche, isn't it? That's why I put some other videos here that you can click to explore previous years of Halloween videos. Anyway, thanks for watching. Have a terrifying evening.